Newcastle 4-1 Man United. Highlights, man of the match. Stats as Harvey Barnes shines against dreadful Red Devils. Harvey Barnes scored twice as Newcastle United recorded a 4-1 victory over Manchester United in Sunday afternoon's Premier League contest at St James Park. Alejandro Garnacho cancelled out a Sandro Tonali opener to leave the two teams level at the interval, but Barnes struck twice in the second period before Bruno Guimaraes added a late fourth to secure all 3 points for the Magpies. The result moved Newcastle into fourth position in the Premier League table, 2 points clear of sixth-placed Chelsea in the battle to secure Champions League football for the 2025-26 campaign. Man United, meanwhile, have dropped down to 14th spot in the division, behind 13th-placed Everton on goal difference, and this will now be statistically the club's worst-ever Premier League campaign in terms of a points return. Sportsmole's verdict. In truth, Sunday's result was not a surprise. Newcastle are a much better team than Man United, and the Magpies had home advantage, so it was always likely that the result would go the way of the team in black and white stripes. Man United had their moments, with Garnacho scoring a brilliant leveler, but the 20-time English champions were extremely poor in the second period, with Barnes's pace proving to be too much for the away side's back three. Ruben Amorim's side were always going to be looking ahead to next week's Europa League quarter-final second leg against Lyon, and it was obvious that their heart was never really in Sunday's game at St James Park. It has been an utterly disastrous league campaign for Man United, who are down in 14th spot in the table, and their season will end if they are unable to overcome Lyon in the Europa League on Thursday night. As for Newcastle, this was a huge result in their battle to secure a return to the Champions League for next season, with Eddie Howe's side rising into 4th spot in the division, ahead of both Manchester City and Chelsea. Newcastle are a team firmly heading in the right direction, but Man United still need open-heart surgery, as Ralph Rangnick once famously said during his time in charge of the club on an interim basis. Newcastle vs Man United highlights. Sandro Tonali goal vs Man United 24th min, Newcastle 1-0 Man United. Newcastle make the breakthrough in the 24th minute of the contest. And it is a wonderful volley from Tonali, with the Italian picking out the bottom corner after being found by a clever flick from Alexander Isak. Alejandro Garnacho goal vs Newcastle 37th min. Newcastle 1-1 Man United. Man United level the scores in the 37th minute of the match, as it is a wonderful break from the visitors, which ends with Diogo Dalot feeding Garnacho. And the Argentina international expertly converts into the bottom corner off the inside of the post. Harvey Barnes goal vs Man United 49th min, Newcastle 2-1 Man United. Harvey Barnes fires the Magpies back in front. Collision pick. Twitter.com/3ppyh7x8ww. Sky Sports Premier League at Sky Sports PL April 13, 2025. Newcastle regain the lead in the 49th minute of the match, as Barnes taps a cross from Jacob Murphy into the back of the Man United net. Not sure about the defending from the Red Devils there. Harvey Barnes goal vs Man United 64th min, Newcastle 3-1 Man United. Barnes has his second of the match, and Newcastle surely secure all 3 points, as a slip from Noussair Mazraoui allows Barnes to break into the penalty box, and he smashes his effort into the back of the net. Bruno Guimaraes goal vs Man United 77th min. Newcastle 4-1 Man United. Horror moment from Altay Bayender, as the Man United goalkeeper's clearance is straight to Joe Linton, with his header then falling to Guimaraes, who converts into the back of the net to make it 4-1 to Newcastle. Man of the match, Harvey Barnes. Tonali and Guimaraes were both excellent for Newcastle on Sunday, but Barnes was the player who terrorized Man United in the second period due to his running power, with the Red Devils simply unable to cope. The former Leicester City attacker scored twice, while he also finished the match with a pass success rate of 94%, with the 27-year-old putting in a wonderful display in front of watching England boss Thomas Tuchel. Newcastle vs Man United match stats. Possession, Newcastle 48% to 52% Man United. Shots, Newcastle 12-9 Man United. Shots on target, Newcastle 6-5 Man United. Corners, Newcastle 7-2 Man United. Fouls, Newcastle 7-9 Man United. What next? Man United's attention will now switch to the Europa League, preparing to welcome Lyon to Old Trafford for the second leg of their quarter-final on Thursday night. With the tie delicately poised at 2-2 following the first leg. Newcastle, meanwhile, will continue their push for a Champions League spot in England's top flight with a home fixture against Crystal Palace on Wednesday night. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.